学习了，但是也开始进行旅游，我们拿这个相机来拍照嘛，在长城上面拍照，老太太也感到很欣喜老师是在搞创作的
You know, this black and white image actually was taken in the late 70s. That's when China just first started opening up, and there were still not many cameras around in China. But this gentleman has one, and they were actually trying to take a photo, and the older woman was trying to look what's inside.
这是计划生育，咱们计划生育题材的一张作品，就是在安徽拍的。因为这个计划生育是中国的一项基本国策这个必须是这个要求是这个一对夫妇只能生一个孩子这是几十年来中国政策一项计划生育基本的国策。但是呢，在农村呢，往往很难能够落实。为什么呢？因为这个重男轻女吧，如果是第一个孩儿是女孩，她肯定要生第二个；如果第二个还是女孩，肯定还要生第三个。所以这样的话呢，就是造成了农村这个计划生育这个政策落实性很困难所以这个当地的这个村委会也好他们都会写这些口号提出来这个计划生育这个往往就是对这个妇女呢进行惩罚、开会教育他们。虽然他们也很多苦衷，这个男人都出去了，都不在家，所以找不到男人就找他们。女人会说责任不在我那是丈夫也说这个口号写的也是一种这个计划生育这一块的一个方面计划生育一个内容。
This photo was taken in Anhui province. Actually, you know, interestingly, when you look at the slogan or the Chinese characters on top, you know, it is basically saying men and women are equal. Family planning or birth control is not just women's responsibility. So he gave a little bit background information, you know, as you all know, China has the biggest population around the world. So family planning and birth control is one of the basic, you know, national policy in China. But you know, the enforcement in the countryside is very hard, simply because every family wants to have a boy. So if you happen to have a girl first, they're definitely going to try to have a second one. You know, if they're still going to have a second girl, they're still going to try to have a boy. So so that's going to be a conflict with the government policy. So therefore, a lot of women they have to go to different classes to get educated why you should have family planning and why you should have birth control. But those women are complaining, why is only our responsibility? You should talk to our husband too. So that's basically the story behind it. This guy is a butcher, but my father is trying to say, looks like he just washed his foot.
是农村选举的，因为卡特总统呢，在97年去山东，去他特别重视农村这个政权、基层建设和这个民主选举。我这幅照片就是在他去的周平，那个小村子。
President Carter actually has give give a lot of importance to the local election, around the world in developing countries. So this photo was taken actually in the same village where President Carter was in at that time. So they were actually conducting a vote counting, at the town level in the election. One world, one people.
这是 在纽约，中国的一个很有名的一个艺术家叫岳美君，他的一个展览就是雕塑，但是正好有两个美国人看到我在拍他们，他站着也凑热闹，一块就照个合影吧。
As a photographer, he has actually been every corner of China almost, but he also traveled around the world. So this section really shows some of the work when he go beyond China. And this one actually was taken in New York when one of the Chinese artists had his work actually displayed, and two American guys really wanted to be part of it, so they were standing there mimicking, the piece of work. This was taken in Japan.
这个那边的时候在日本拍的，因为他是在做了一个，一是他在道观嘛，当时纪念做一个纪念这个除夕的一个活动。以后呢，还从那走那个，前面站着另外一个，他是西安一马吧。
Yeah, this photo, as I said, was taken in Japan. They were actually conducting some type of a ceremony when the nun was walking by and the monk was looking. That's in New York also.
其实我6年前在纽约街头上拍的，但是那些当时没有生意，经济萧条，不看。
Yeah, that was taken 6 years ago in New York, on the street. That can tell the economy back then was not very good, and he was taking a nap. 这幅《旅行神》呢，是我81年，这个在山东一个小山村拍的。当时呢，这个山村呢，它没有耕地，它都是山坡嘛，就是靠果树和桥边，来维持他们的生活。在温哥，这个在改革开放之前吧，是不允许搞这个副业啊，卖这个自己这种商品不能进入市场，叫自己为了所以这个改革开放之后呢，这个新政策一做，鼓励农民进行各种副业进行生产，然后走向市场。现在这个主人公呢，现在已经是这个家庭很有钱了，当时他这个因为电视这张照片呢，在85年获得联合国教科文组织这个亚洲文化中心大奖，当时全国都知道这个山村，这个小山村呢也出了名了。现在一直到现在，这开始是这个20多年嘛，一直就是一个全国的一个摄影人和搞美术的这个创作的基地。 This image was taken in 1981 in a village also in Shandong province. As you can see, actually this gentleman is weaving the basket. This village actually doesn't have a lot of field, doesn't have a lot of field, they could really work on, but instead they have a lot of orchard, they have a lot of trees. So back then when China was first starting opening up, it was not allowed to actually produce any products for exchange of money. Back then it was not considered legal, but as China was opening up, and for the first time they could actually use their craftsmanship to actually produce some type of products in order to make money. So now actually this gentleman has become very famous and wealthy because after taking the image, this image was awarded by UNESCO the highest, award. And then that village all of a sudden became very famous. So that became a destination for photographers, for a lot of vendors who are actually trying to buy basket and also, to buy similar kind of products they're making right now. Also, actually, I was trying to take the photo of him originally, but his daughter and the dog really wanted to be part of it. So I think she really wanted to show her new radio. That's one of the reasons she wanted to be part of it. And the dog, of course, doesn't want to be left alone. So that really shows the intimacy, of a father and a daughter. And I can share a little bit of story about this image. When this image was taken, I was only 7 years old. So my father named this photo as, every path can reach success. But then he asked me, what would you name this photo? So I said, I want to name it as the love of a father and a daughter. So then he changed the title, and to this day. That was maybe that's a good way to kind of wrap up. That was the actually last masterpiece he would like to talk about. That concludes his slides. Oops, sorry. Okay, now we will go.
We were going through the slides yesterday with Tony and her father. We thought that ending one world, one people really tied it together very nicely. So as you can see, as you're thinking about your questions that we'll get to next, we not only have a master photographer from an artistic point of view, but his contribution to worldwide understanding in the community of man and woman is very, very important. So as you look at the exhibition and talk to your friends about it, we would hope that you would share with them that sort of double impact of this marvelous work that we have on display here. With that, we'd like to entertain some questions. Who would like to get us started? Yes, ma'am.
I want to get started because I'm getting old and I don't want to forget the question. It's my honor and a privilege to be here this evening to hear this. I was not familiar with the photographer, but I'm familiar with the Carter Center, and I do come down fairly frequently for book lectures. So I'm glad to be here this evening. But this is my question. I noticed that especially in the Life Companions part of the exhibit, the photographs to me show the people with great tranquility, serenity, in settings that we in America would probably think of as abject poverty. And I'd like to know what your father would tell us about why these people look to me so tranquil, and how was he able to capture that so well in his photography? Okay.
因为呢，是这样，因为我拍的这个相依为命哈这一组照片呢，也是在 山区，基本是在山东这个云梦山拍的。这个为什么他们现在特别安静，特别这个安逸啊，对这个生活很满足？实际上，这个我去拍的就是他们都不知道，我都是在现场中跟他们聊天，在抓拍他们。我是实行盲拍的，啊，没有举起相机对着他们，而且把相机放在我的胸前，啊，一面跟他聊天，一面按快门。这个后来我也了解到，他们这些人呢，子女实际上都在城里，有的在外地，有的甚至在国外，啊，他们的实际上他们的家庭生活都是非常，可以说是就是很富足的，并不是太穷。为什么这个他们在这个老房子不愿离去呢？因为他住了一辈子，中国人的习惯是不愿离开老窝，啊，这个他们实际上子女在城里都给他买了房子，但是他们不习惯，有的去住了这个1年半载啊，甚至更短的时间，还是回到自己的家里来，啊，认为自己的家里还是这个适合他们自己的这种生活习惯，他们实际上这个生活上，并不是这个太贫困，啊，他们子女啊都会这个每个月是给他们一定的这种经济上的支持，啊，他们这些人有一些呢还是受到政府的这种这个照顾，啊，和这种这个给一些保险，给一些这个救济，啊，所以他们的生活非常心态也非常平稳。
To answer your question, why they look so tranquil and also calm and content, actually there are a couple of reasons. One, when I actually try to take photos of them, I don't really point my camera, into their face. I actually hand my camera around my neck and chatting with them, so they don't really feel they are being taken. So they look very calm. That's one reason. Also for two, you probably don't see any anxiety on their face because they actually, although they don't live a very rich life, but they actually live a pretty comfortable life because their kids has left the village to, for a better life. And they always actually send back, money, enough money for them to have a comfortable life. And they also bought houses or apartments for their parents. But they choose to live in their own nest, and they just feel comfortable living there, and they just don't want to go to the big cities. So that's why I guess they just look very tranquil, and there's nothing material they really want to pursue in their actions. Yes, also, yes. Yeah, exactly that. Thank you for that. Also, not only their kids actually send money, and some of them also get allowance from the government. Yeah.
Other questions? Yes, sir.
Can you, I saw on your biography that you teach at a university. Can you talk a little bit about the role of teaching in your life as an artist and in your life in general?
我的这个可以说，从70年代，我一直是一个摄影师，一直在搞摄影创作，这个一直是在摄影家协会这个摄影组织里头担任领导职务我做了24年的济南摄影家协会的一个主席。我是06年调入大学，在大学里呢，我就是给学生们上这个摄影艺术创作的这种课现在是在研究生对于我个人来讲，在大学里呢，这个时间可能会更充裕对我来讲有更多的时间这个进行一些创作。我呢本身呢主要还是做一些策展，做一些策划工作中国国内的几个大的摄影节我都负责给他们做一个策划展览的工作，所以我也会带着学生呢共同参与给他们进行实践性的教学，让他们从实践中学到这个不但是从技术上学到知识，更多的是从这个 实践中能积累经验这是最重要的。
I've been a photographer since 1970s, so I was really spending a lot of time also being in the leadership of a photography association. For example, he was the chairman of Jinan Shandong Photography Association for 24 years. So he actually did not start teaching in the university till 2006 when he got the opportunity. Excuse me. He felt actually it's very fulfilling to be teaching the students at the same time being a photographer because of the flexibility in schedule. At the same time, actually, he's not just a photographer and a professor, he's also a curator as well as an event planner, for photography events. So most of the photo festivals in China, actually, he has been helping to put them together to plan them in many parts of China. So with that, he can always get the students engaged to really have a hands-on experience, to really share not only the knowledge but also the job-related experience.
One last question.
Yes, I'm interested. A number of the photographs made reference to the fact that children have gone into the city, but yet this is a very rural, very poor part of China. And the photographs showing the children seem like the education they receive is very limited. How are they able to transition from that village life, and where's the education and what type of jobs are they going into in the city?